Hello, you're watching TVP World News. I'm Janasz Rewicki. Final preparations are taking place in Washington, D.C. for the inauguration of Donald Trump as the 47th President of the United States. On Sunday night, Trump told a packed Washington arena he would impose severe limits on immigration on his first day in office. He vowed to sign scores of executive orders to swiftly make good on key presidential campaign promises. The swearing-in ceremony normally takes place in front of the Capitol building. However, it has been moved inside the Capitol's Rotunda because of extreme cold weather forecasts. For the first time, a number of world leaders have been invited to the event, including Argentina's Javier Milei and Italy's Giorgia Meloni. China has sent Vice President Han Zheng to attend the event. Several high-profile tech entrepreneurs, such as Tesla CEO Elon Musk, Meta chief Mark Zuckerberg, and TikTok chief executive Shou Zi-Chew, will also attend. And please join us for a special edition focused on the inauguration later today, starting at 5:30 p.m. Central European Time. The most extraordinary first 100 days of any presidency in American history. That is what U.S. President-elect Donald Trump promised the attendees of his rally in Washington, D.C., a day ahead of his inauguration. Trump's bold plans for his presidency continue to spark controversy, including in the field of foreign policy.
We're going to do a lot of things. You're going to see something tomorrow. You're going to see executive orders that are going to make you extremely happy. Lots of them. Lots of them. We have to set our country on the proper course. By the time the sun sets tomorrow evening, the invasion of our borders will have come to a halt, and all the illegal border trespassers will in some form or another be on their way back home. The border security measures I will outline in my inaugural address tomorrow will be the most aggressive, sweeping effort to restore our borders, but we will quickly reestablish control of our sovereign territory and borders. We will expel every single illegal alien, gang member, and migrant criminal operating on American soil and remove the savage gang Tren d'Iroquois from the United States. Every radical and foolish executive order of the Biden administration will be repealed within hours of when I take the oath of office. Oh, you're going to have a lot of fun watching television tomorrow. The American people have given us their trust, and in return, we're going to give them the best first day, the biggest first week, and the most extraordinary first 100 days of any presidency in American history.
TikTok restored services to its 170 million US users after Donald Trump said he would revive the app's access in the States when he returns to power on Monday. The incoming US president has proposed a 50-50 ownership split with the Chinese-affiliated social media app. It comes after a US Supreme Court ruling that went into effect on Saturday night, banning the app over Washington's security concerns that data could be misused. During a rally on Sunday night, Trump highlighted how TikTok's influence helped him win the youth vote.
And as of today, TikTok is back. So, you know, I did a little TikTok thing. We have a guy, TikTok Jack. He's a young kid, like 21 years old. And we hired this guy, and I went on TikTok. Can you believe what I'll do to win an election? And we went on TikTok, and Republicans have never won the young vote, the youth vote. They win a lot of votes, but they never won the youth vote. We won the youth vote by 36 points. So I like TikTok. I like it. I like it. I had a slightly good experience, wouldn't you say? Romney lost it by 40 points. Not so long ago, we won it by 36 points. That's a very big spread. But I said we need to save TikTok because we're talking about a tremendous... Who in this audience goes with TikTok? Many? Yeah, very popular.
During his final appearance as U.S. President, Joe Biden delivered remarks at the International African American Museum in Charleston. On our last full day in office, we wanted to be here with you in South Carolina, said the outgoing U.S. leader, delivering the remarks in the company of his wife, Jill Biden.
Look, folks, as Jill and I shared, we felt that the power of prayer for so many of you across South Carolina has made a big deal for us. It's been a big deal for us, for real. That's why at our last full day in office, we wanted to be here with you in South Carolina. We started this morning in church to reflect on the power of faith in God and each other and our democracy. Here at this museum, we reflect on the power of history, redeeming the soul of a nation. I'm honored to be here and just toured this sacred ground.
Polish radio correspondent to Washington Marek Wałkuski had an unexpected meeting with President Joe Biden outside the White House. The outgoing leader has conveyed his message to Poland as he prepares to leave office. The president has expressed his hopes that Donald Trump would not abandon Ukraine in its fight against Russia.
Hello, Mr. President.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good.
Thank you for everything. How are you feeling now?
I'm feeling great. I got some resistance. Don't annoy you. That's why I'm so...
I know. What do you...
Who are you with?
I'm with Polish radio, Polski radio.
Oh, God, I didn't see you. How are you, man? Good to see you.
Thank you, Mr. President.
And I hope to God we made it so he's not going to be able to leave
We're going
Ukraine.
to get a pic with you two of you together.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. That's...
Look at that. There we go.
This is
Got a
video.
It's pretty good, huh?
Mr. President, what's your message for Poland?
Stay strong. Stay strong. I've done everything we can to give you all the capacity you need to defend yourselves and keep Putin from being able to intervene. And I'm hopeful. I've done everything. We've brought in the incoming administration to give them all the data we have, all the information we have, and all the resources we provide. And just pray God they do it.
Thank you, Mr. President, and good luck.
Thank you so much.
Moving on now to the Middle East. As part of a ceasefire deal in Gaza, Israel released 90 Palestinian prisoners, mostly women and children, late on Sunday, according to the Israeli prison authorities. Earlier on, Hamas freed 3 hostages that had been held for the last 15 months. Nearly 2,000 Palestinians are to be freed in the first phase of the truce, which began Sunday morning. The initial group included 69 women and girls, as well as 8 boys. Prisoners' identities were verified by Israeli officials and the Red Cross before release. Earlier, Hamas released hostages Romi Gonen, Emily Damari, and Doron Steinbrecher, abducted during the October 7, 2023 attack. Further Israeli hostages are expected to be freed on the 25th of January. The Washington Post is reporting that the recent destruction of critical Baltic Sea cables was likely caused by accident rather than Russian sabotage. Infrastructure damaged over the past 18 months has alarmed European capitals and spurred NATO into launching surveillance operations. According to the newspaper, however, European and American intelligence officials have so far found no evidence that the ships suspected of severing data and energy cables by dragging their anchors did so deliberately or at the Kremlin's instruction. The damage raised suspicion that Moscow was targeting undersea infrastructure as part of a broader campaign of hybrid attacks across Europe. However, intelligence evidence gathered so far suggests that the destruction may have been accidental, caused by inexperienced crews serving aboard poorly maintained vessels. The probes center on 3 incidents over the past 18 months, in which ships traveling to or from Russian ports were suspected of severing key links. Meanwhile, Portugal's military deployed a reconnaissance aircraft to monitor a Russian vessel operating in waters under Portuguese jurisdiction. Military experts in Lisbon described the ship as a spy vessel conducting intelligence-gathering operations. The Portuguese Air Force issued a statement late Sunday, identifying the Russian ship as an oceanographic research vessel surveying critical underwater infrastructure, particularly submarine telecommunications cables. The vessel is reportedly capable of deploying deep-sea submersibles for marine operations. Military authorities emphasized that monitoring the ship was vital for safeguarding maritime security. The vessel left Portuguese waters later on Sunday. In 2024, Portugal conducted a record 73 observation missions targeting Russian naval activity in its jurisdiction, often involving multiple vessels in a single operation. The heightened surveillance reflects ongoing concerns about Russian naval efforts near Europe. Polish Prime Minister Donald Tusk is due to attend the European Parliament session this week, which is starting today in Strasbourg. On Wednesday, Tusk is expected to address MEPs, outlining the priorities of Poland's presidency of the Council of the European Union. During this week's four-day session, European Parliament members will debate EU-US relations in the wake of Donald Trump's return to the White House. The agenda also includes discussions on Russia's attempts to damage data and energy infrastructure in the Baltic Sea. The European Parliament is also expected to adopt a resolution condemning repression in Belarus in advance of the controversial presidential election there, scheduled for the 26th of January. The World Economic Forum kicks off in Davos today. Leaders from around the globe will convene under the slogan "Collaboration for the Intelligent Age." The 2025 Annual World Economic Forum will focus on challenges for democracy and the opportunities and risks associated with the explosion of new intelligent technologies. US President Donald Trump, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky and Polish President Andrzej Duda will be among the 60 top leaders from across the world who will address the meeting. Andrzej Duda, who will be in Davos until Friday, will also participate in the inauguration of the Ukrainian House and a discussion on the geopolitical as well as global implications of the war in Ukraine. Polish Deputy Prime Minister and Defense Minister Władysław Kosiniak-Kamysz will visit Sweden on Monday to meet with his counterpart Pål Jonson, as well as representatives of the country's defense industry. Security in the Baltic Sea and joint efforts to protect critical infrastructure located in the region will be at the top of the agenda of the meeting. The two defense ministers will also discuss support for Ukraine. In addition, they will raise the issue of cooperation between the respective domestic arms industries, including possible Swedish purchases in Poland. Tens of thousands of demonstrators gathered outside the headquarters of Serbian state television in Belgrade last Friday to protest what they perceive as the broadcaster's pro-government bias. Ivan Vejvoda, Europe Project Director at the Institute for Human Sciences in Vienna, spoke to TVP World about the protests and emphasized the younger generation's desire to live in a country governed by the rule of law.
This generation who has stood up for full accountability and transparency and unlocking the captured state, and in particular the public prosecution, is a generation that says, we don't want to just get our diplomas and leave for another country. This is our country and we want to stay here, but we want to live in a regime where rule of law governs supreme. And so that is also pressure on the government to move as best it can to meet the necessary criteria for the next steps in EU integration.
And with this, we conclude our news bulletin. Please stay with us here on TVP World for more latest news and updates.